Hi guys, PJ here. Today we're working on a 2006 Golf, Volkswagen Golf, and we're going to just quickly show you how to remove the radio from it. Now this particular car, it's quite a lot of dashboard strip down on it, so if you do think you're going to struggle, obviously take it to your local professional. You don't want to break anything. But you've got to start by ordering the right pieces as well. You can't just put a radio straight in this. You are going to need a fitting kit. Now here we have a complete solution by Auto Leads. There you go. It's got everything. Part number there, look. 0308 is the year it'll fit on, and the fitting kit being CFK Volkswagen 01. And in this kit comes these parts: FP1703 fascia adapter, which is a piece of plastic to fit the radio in, PC2754, which is your wiring harness adapter, and PC5136 aerial adapter. You also get an antenna adapter, PC527, if you need it, and also, if your car's fitted with steering wheel controls, it's got the optional PC99505. Now, you will specify that at the time of ordering your parts. If your steering wheel's like this one, blank, then you don't have any steering wheel controls. You don't need that bit. Okay, so just pop that to one side there. First thing to do to get this radio out is start at the top. Get this rubber mat out. Yeah, just lifts out. Look, get that over there. You've got two TX20s. So you're going to take those two TX20s out. Okay, as if, there you go, you've got your screws out already, yeah. Then basically you've got to pull this out. This does actually come out. You need like a plastic lever underneath it, yeah. There is proper tools to do that. They're called Bojo, and you can order them on eBay, simple enough. They're normally a couple of quid. If not, a plastic scraper will suffice. Not a metal one. You will damage the plastic edge, okay. And you're best to start at the back on these. Okay, so when you've got the corner up, yeah, and you can lift it, just pull it out. And there you go, you've got those prongs that stick underneath. That's why you don't start at the front, so start at the back. Take that out of the way, so it's safe. And then you've got two more, well you should have. One more on this particular car. There you go, one more TX20 to remove, do that. Okay, so with the TX20 at the rear there removed, you can now start levering your dashboard up a bit. It's on little clips, so it's sort of, just be careful you don't break your vents, do it gently. Gently-ish, you have to give it a bit of pressure, but just don't break anything. Take your time, and it will pop, he says. Always difficult one-handed, guys. Just pop that up a minute. Okay, so as you can see, we do have to use a bit of pressure on this one. It's like a plastic lip. There you go. Don't get your scraper under the plastic here, this bottom bit, put it up above and lift, yeah? So you can now lift the entire thing out of the way. Pay attention to that. You've got a connector to undo that. Do that. Okay, your next step is back to your TX20s. You've got one here that you've just uncovered. Take that out. And you've got another one exactly the same on the other side. So once you've taken one out, put them safe, you are going to need them again. So put them down in the gear lever or something like that. There's your other one, look, just there. Take that one out. There we go, both screws out. So now you basically get your little plastic pry tool, put it down the edge here and pop, yeah, all the way around, nice and easy. Take your time with it, don't damage your plastic. Once it's damaged, isn't it? So take your time and work your way all the way around it. There we go. And it slowly pops off. There we go, last one. You can hear them go. I mean, it's pretty obvious when they've let go. Some of the stuff stiff. There we go. So that's off. Obviously you'd support that with your other hand, because I'm doing this one-handed, it did sort of drop. But yeah, just support it before it goes flying. Put that safely to one side, and you're back with TX20s again. You've got four, one here, one here, one here, and one here, just holding the actual radio in. So go ahead and take those out. Right, having removed the screws, I highly suggest you cover your gear lever so you don't scratch it. Just put a little bag over it or something, yeah. And if you're not going to support it very well, just cover these areas as well with a bit of cardboard or something. But anyway, you grab hold of your radio, and it should pop out. It's got quite a chunky, weighty thing, so just bear that in mind. Okay, pull it forward, angle it down, and there you go. You've got a quad lock connector and a fascia aerial connectors to undo. Now they're on squeezy clips, so this thing here has got a squeeze tab. You squeeze it together, and there's like a lever. There you go. Pull the lever up, look, and it comes out nice and easy. These ones can be a little bit tricky. They are on squeezy tabs, but you're going to need both hands to squeeze them and pull them out. Okay, and here are the pieces from the kit that you need to connect. This is your fascia aerial connection, which will literally go in there. Shove that in. And then the blue wire that is spurred from it needs to be connected to the blue wire on the wiring harness adapter. Yeah, these are simple enough to fit. You've got a large plug there, and you just quite literally plug the two together. Now the only thing I'm going to mention for you is it comes with a plastic fascia like so. Fine for a single DIN radio, but if you're fitting the really big ones like that, you need to hacksaw the little plastic bar out, this piece. So saw it down each corner and just take that out. I'll show you when I've done it. Okay, there we go, there's the plastic frame, and as you can see we've hacksawed the middle bar out, so it's got a big enough gap to put our big double DIN radio in. You'll only have to do that if you are fitting one of the really big radios like that though, not a normal size one, okay? All the wires are fed through and plugged in and everything now. What you are going to have to do on this car, they do not have an ignition switched power supply, so in other words, when you take the key out, your radio will just stay on all the time. Now, to make it so your radio goes off when you take the key out of the, the ignition, you're going to need to unplug this red wire, yeah, split it like so, and then run a red wire, or any colour wire for that matter, but red's preferable, from here all the way across the dashboard underneath, hide it out of the way, and go round to the end here to where the fuse box is, yeah? Now, when you get it there, you're going to need to connect it to an ignition switch, okay? So you're going to need a test meter to test which one it is. I can show you on this car which fuse I use for that, but it may differ depending on depending on model and spec and everything. Okay, so on this particular car, the fuse box here, yeah, that you can see, you're looking for a fuse that goes dead when you turn the ignition off. Now, the top row of fuses on this particular one, all the 5 amps and the 10 amp, the red one there, they're all switched ignition. So right now, they are, live because I've got the ignition on. When I turn the ignition off, they will go dead. That is where you want to connect your power supply to. Now, what you can use for your power supply is one of these little spurs that you can buy from car accessory shops, yeah? Put yourself a 10 amp fuse in the hole nearest the blades, and then the fuse that you take out from the fuse box, you pop in this side of it, yeah? And then it just plugs in, yeah? And then you've got your spur to take off and run to your radio for your ignition switched. If you do struggle with that bit in any way, drop me a line in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer your question as quick as possible. There we go, with it connected in, so it's pushed home. Look, it's got 2 fuses in it, this thing has, and basically I've crimped the connector in, some red wire, which now comes out the dashboard ready to plug to your connector and the stereo end. On the subject of power, yeah, do not turn your ignition on with this unplugged, this here that's part of your dashboard, because it's your passenger airbag light warning light. If you turn it on with that unplugged, you'll have the airbag warning light come on the dashboard. So make sure that is plugged in before you put your ignition on to test your power feed, yeah? Do not switch it on with that unplugged, otherwise you're going to have to get your airbag warning light reset at a garage. Okay, so here's your power wire that I ran from the fuse box coming down here. I've tied it around the gear lever so you don't pull the cable back through the dashboard, as I've seen many people do, and then we've got to ferret around looking for it. You need to connect this red power wire to this red wire here that we've split open. Okay, it even says on the wire ignition switched. If you look, there's some tiny writing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and connect that. There we go, power wire all spliced in. It's all taped up as well, just to make absolutely sure. It's on bullet connectors, or you could solder it, take your pick. Little crimp connectors will do fine. Do not use them things called Scotch locks. They have a tendency to fail, and to be honest with you, can be a fire hazard. So use proper crimp connectors, little bullet connectors if possible, or solder it together and insulate it. Right, now you've got the cable that comes with the actual radio itself, this particular one here, and they're a push fit, so they just literally click together. You can just, squeeze the tabs on it and it'll nicely push together. There you are, click. And it's got locking pins, look, that hold it together. Right, once you've done that, go ahead and refit your TX20s on all 4 corners of your plastic surround. So we've got all 4 in now, all TX20s, all holding this plastic framing. Now, because you've got such a big gap here now to be able to get at all the wiring and radio and tuck it out the way, you can actually start reassembling your dashboard. So get your plastic that you unclipped, hook your wires through it, and just start clicking it back in, yeah, because you're not going to need it to come off again. So you can just go around it, you lay all the push fit connectors, click in, look, there you go, click, 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 all the way around so it's all nice and snug. push it evenly. Right, there we go. You got your two TX20s in the top corners to put in, and then we can move on to the top bit. There's both TX20s back in again. Now these have got little mounting lugs that you can see there, the top section. Don't forget to plug your airbag light back in and your hazard warning light if you've unplugged it. I didn't actually unplug it for this fit, I just left it on and put it to one side. So slide it down in like so. You got to wiggle these around a bit to get them in, they are a bit awkward. You know, there you go, back in a bit there. Get that front lug in. All one-handed, like I say, very tricky, much easier if you've got both hands free. I do get a lot of people saying to me, oh, you know, go and buy a GoPro camera or something similar. The only thing is, I do all this for free. The advice is for free, so buying a GoPro camera is a pretty expensive thing to do. Bear that in mind when you're criticising. Okay, so moving on, that's all clicked in, yeah? Put your TX20s back at the back here, put that one in. TX20 now in, and get your tray with your lugs. Put the front lugs in first. You've got to line those up. There we go. And crunch, yeah? In it goes. 2 holes, 2 more TX20s. Put those in. When you've done that, you are then looking at getting your cage. Now your cage comes with your radio you've purchased and just basically slots in. Moving forward a little bit, we've got all our cables plugged in the radio there, so that's plugged in. I've just taped that up so it's nice and tidy. Taped up the little power supply that we've unplugged from when we put the red cable in there. And now we're just going to fit the aerial that we've put. We put this aerial adapter in, and there's another little aerial adapter in the end of that, a little stubby thing that comes in the kit. You just click it in and then shove it in the back of your radio. Your radio's got a hole just there, and this thing fits in that hole like so. So just shove that in. Yeah, it's quite tough normally. On the cage itself, you're going to need a little flat blade screwdriver, and all you do is go round, put your screwdriver in and twist and push some of the lugs down. Yeah, that's look all the way around it, you know, put a few in, and it'll hold the cage in place like a security feature. When you've done that, make sure your wires are all tucked out the way nicely. Put your stereo in the hole, don't shove it all the way home, leave it out a bit so you can get it out again if you need be, and then put your ignition on and make sure your memory all works on it and everything. Okay, so with your radio powering up, just tune a preset in, if you can remember any. There you go, 106.6, that'll do. Tune it down a little bit. So put it on a preset, press and hold, normally is the case, depending on the radio, and press again to store. Now turn your ignition off and take your key out, count to 10. Or as near as. Then put your key back in and make sure you come back onto the radio station you've just stored. If you don't, you need to adjust some wires. There you go, that works perfectly. Okay, so at that now you can now push the stereo home and away you go, sort of thing. If it doesn't store that, if it's lost it when you put the key back in, you'll notice the wire that comes with the radio has got a yellow and red cable in it. Okay, now the yellow and red cable, I will try and show you, it's a tight fit. Come here, there you go. See those two with the bullet connectors on, these, yellow and red? What you've got to do is pull the bullet connectors out and swap them round so that yellow goes to red and red goes to yellow, yeah? And that will kill the problem with it not saving its memory. That's all it is. That easy to do. So switch your ignition back off just before you shove it home. You never know if you're going to trap a cable or anything. And make sure you've got nothing trapped behind it, such as a block or something. And there we go. You'll hear it click when it's locked in, and that is completely fully in place now. You know, everything works as it should do. If this video was any help at all to you, please click like on your way out, and any questions or anything really from a Ford to a Bentley, you can ask me anything on this sort of thing. It's not a problem. Drop it in the comments below for any questions. Thanks for your time, and goodbye for now.